Now, I'd like to invite Senator Ron Wyden to come up and say a few words to receive our award. And this is the American Academy of Home Care Physicians Award. The awards its Independence at Home Award to Senator Ron Wyden. With thanks for your sponsorship and extraordinary efforts in making Independence at Home part of 2010's health reform legislation.
Thank you, Brian. My friend and partner Ed Markey has said it so well. I will tell you that the first thing that comes to mind, this is such an exciting healthcare movement. Virtually a healthcare juggernaut. All of these incredible statistics which illustrate the value of it. It is going to be hard to keep me, a little bit like Ed, from just kind of going over the top and just being absolutely exuberant. So, first thing I want to know is, are there any reporters from Rolling Stone here? But kidding aside, this is a wonderful, wonderful day. And the first point I want to make is what Ed and I are here to tell you is that we have a very simple message. A very simple message. And that is, when it comes to getting quality, affordable health care for senior citizens in this country, our message is going to be, let's bring it home.
All right.
Forward. Let's bring it home. And listening to Ed, and of course we go way back. I admired Ed when I was co-director of the Oregon Great Panthers. That was my job before I got elected to Congress. Had a full head of hair and rugged good looks and all that. And back then we dreamed of a day like this. A day when you could go to the American people and say, we're going to make sure that seniors get more of what they want, which is to be at home, for less of a price to taxpayers. That day clearly has arrived, based on all of these statistics. So as Ed said, we are not just going to sit around. We're thrilled to have our plaques. But we don't want you to think we'll put the plaque on the wall and that's going to be it. So we are going to work every day, which was exactly what we wanted to tell you today with our letter, until in every nook and cranny of this country, Independence at Home is available. Right now, as you know, it's a demonstration project. And it was a heavy lift, as Congressman Markey said, in order to get that. In order to get it, you know, Emily and Mark, I think those guys were fed intravenously or something for a while, trying to get through, you know, health reform. We're out there prosecuting the case. As you know, this always comes down, we coined this term when I was director of the Great Panthers, to the bean counters. The bean counters always say, you know, you and Congressman Markey mean well, but gosh, it's really going to cost money in the end. We're going to surprisingly have people just come out of nowhere. Remember, guys, the quote, woodworking effect. How many times have those of us who worked in healthcare heard those words, woodworking? If I had a nickel for every time I heard woodworking, we could fund Independence at Home. And what Congressman Markey and I and our staff finally have shown is that by any calculus, this is going to make it possible for the country to do what is morally right, which is to help seniors at less of a price to taxpayers. So in that sense, it is a historic breakthrough. I was especially pleased to be able to listen to your presentation because it's obvious that this is the future of chronic care, folks. We all know that on any given day in America, a big portion of the Medicare budget goes to a relatively small sliver of people. So the choice is clear. Do we want to spend more money on ambulances and, in effect, those emergency, middle-of-the-night kind of interventions, or do we want to get this kind of care to folks? So this is the future of chronic care. And I also believe it's a future that we can build on, and it's also going to help us fund this. I want to just take a quick minute and outline this. Ed and I come from areas where there is a huge technology sector. And many of the good-paying jobs of the future are going to come from the healthcare arena. We see Intel folks in the second row, a major employer in my home state. A lot of the high-skilled, high-wage jobs of the future are going to be possible through some of the new products that are going to be available, particularly for monitoring. And talk about being well-positioned. There is nobody, folks, in the United States Congress who knows more about technology than Congressman Markey. Chaired the committee for years on end. I used to say I was his wingman trying to work on these issues. We know that this burgeoning field of e-health, as it's called, is going to be an ideal complement to exactly what we saw on the video. For example, I got to chair an aging committee hearing just a few weeks ago that looked at some of the monitoring devices. And if you think, for example, about the capacity to take the good work that the physicians up here are doing in terms of the house calls and complement it with some of these products of the future in industries that Ed and I are looking to provide good paying jobs, we could have, for example, blood pressure monitoring technologies in the home so that when you, doctor, arrive with that huge suitcase or whatever you're bringing in on wheelers, you would already have the information from the preceding days about blood pressure. So, folks, we are on the right side of history with this cause. And that is what makes this especially gratifying, particularly to team up with my friend and partner, to see the great staff who stepped in again and again. This is Independence Day, folks. It's at hand. And what we are here to say is on our watch, we're going to make sure that no senior in America, not a one, has got to give up their independence because of health challenges. What a wonderful movement you all are part of, and it is a thrill to be a small cog in it. Thanks so much.